Welcome, everyone. You are watching They Survive. This is the show where we talk to people who have survived really traumatic experiences, in some cases, life threatening events. And it is my honor to kick off this series with our guest, Tanya Lewis, and her husband, Curtis. Tanya is the survivor of a hit and run that happened in Thomasville in March of 2011. So, thank you both so much for being here today.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for having
us.
us.
Yes, yes. So I just want to talk to you about kind of how life has been coping with that. It sounds like it's been quite a journey for you.
Yes, it's been quite a journey. It's been quite an experience, but it's been a good journey.
It's been a journey. Okay. Now you both were there that night.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was actually quite a few of us there, but
Okay.
yeah, we had just came back from a family dinner. March the 030608 is when we consider our anniversary. So every year in March, 030608 or 0306, we go out for our first date anniversary. And we had just got home from that when everything kind of went awry.
Everything kind of went awry. Okay. So tell me what you mean by that when you say everything kind of went awry.
Pretty much that was probably our first and last argument that night. And Tanya decided she was leaving and packed up a bunch of stuff and pretty much walked across the street and waited for someone to come and pick her up. In the process of walking back across the street, we lived on a dimly lit road. We had talked to the city about it plenty of times, but they never got it fixed. And a car about 50 to 60 miles an hour came and over the hill and hit her, never stopped, never put on brakes.
Okay. So,
And
yeah. So, Tanya, what do you remember? What was the last thing that you remember seeing in that moment? Did it just come out of nowhere, the vehicle?
Yes, the last thing I remember is dropping a bag and reached down and tried to pick it up and I saw headlights and that's all I remember.
Wow. So just like that, boom.
Just like that,
Okay.
out of nowhere.
Okay. And so, Curtis, you were one of the witnesses. You saw the moment of impact.
saw the moment of impact.
Mm.
It was it was traumatic. Well, what happened with me is I literally, when we saw it happen, I ran past her. She got knocked like over 70 feet. So I never saw her land. I mean, not to laugh about it, but if that makes sense, my cousin who was there was like, Curtis, she's over here. And that's when we found her, like probably about 60 to 70 feet from where impact happened.
Oh my goodness.
And it just was amazing. A couple of, more cousins tried to get descriptions as much as possible. But I mean, on the dim road, when a car is going about, excuse me, about, 55, 60 miles an hour, it was hard to get anything. And plus, our focus was on Tanya immediately at that time.
So when you saw her lying there, did you think that,
I thought that was probably, to be honest, going to be my last time ever seeing her breathing. There was a traumatic injury to her leg that we saw there, the whole side of her neck and head and everything. Thank God for one of my cousins who was there with us that was on the phone with 911. They told us what to do, and we give thanks to the paramedics that showed up that night. Because we really literally thought that, to be honest, she shouldn't be here right now. She should not
wow,
be here right now. If I'm
wow.
not mistaken, I believe, looking back on the notes and the events from that night, she arrested twice. They had to take her
Yes.
to Forsyth, over to
Baptist
Baptist
Hospital.
Baptist
Hospital
Hospital.
in
Okay.
Winston because Thomasville couldn't handle her injuries.
Oh my goodness.
And she coded twice.
Yes.
There was a lot of traumatic injury to the leg, the pelvis, the socket of her eye, the side of her neck. It was, for lack of a better phrase, it was horrific to see and
Mm.
to witness.
So, Tanya, I would
Yeah.
imagine some of this you probably don't remember that you had to be told secondhand
Yes,
kind of
ma'am.
what was going on. So, when did you finally come to realize this was awful and you really came close to losing your life that night?
I woke up, it was like 2 weeks in the hospital, and my mom and my grandmother were there, and my brother. And I woke up and I was like, where am I at? And they told me what had happened, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I was waking up going to another surgery.
Tell us what we're looking at.
If I'm not mistaken, that's a picture that one of her family members took the night that she was in Winston, the night of the actual accident,
Oh my
when they got
goodness.
her to the hospital.
Wow. And we can see a lot of the injuries that you described. This is going to be a different view here, where you see your face kind of head on here. What are your thoughts when you guys look back on this and just kind of,
Oof.
it's hard. Is it hard to look at for you? It's
Yes.
hard to look at for you. It's hard to
Yeah.
look at.
Yes.
Wow. Tell
Um,
me a little bit more about that.
I mean, with me, like I said, I being a witness to it and then knowing and then seeing these photographs, I believe that was after she had been in the hospital for for a few days,
Mm-hmm.
and there was still, as you can see, a lot of swelling, a lot of fluids. Um, I'm thankful that her family, her immediate family, her mother, her grandmother, she had her aunt, her brothers, they were there during that time. We weren't married at the time,
Okay.
so I really didn't have a input as to what was taking place in Baptist Hospital with her. We had just been dating for a few years. So when all of this went down, her family jumped in and really scooped up and helped her manage everything.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm thankful for that. But I mean, just seeing those pictures, it's a blessing now because I see those, then I turn and I see who's sitting beside me. So I'm
Wow. I love that. I
I'm
love
like,
that.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And we don't really think about the person who's supporting the one who
Mhm.
survived. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, what was your mindset in terms of making it through the relationship and being a support system?
With me, I'll tell you straight up. I felt bad. I felt guilty. I felt really upset about the argument we had had. And mind you, when it got translated over to her family, of course, now it was really bad. They really, I was to blame. She was with me. She was in my care. We had had an argument. There was no denying it or detesting it. She had made a couple of phone calls to her brother who hadn't answered. So now we've got voicemail backing it up that she doesn't want to be with me anymore. And once again, it was just an argument. It
Hmm.
was an argument. People fight, people fuss. This particular time, it went a little extensive with her wanting to leave on that particular night. And it was like, come back in the house for something happens. And no sooner than that came out of our mouth, something happened. So of
I
course
see.
I felt really bad for a while. And due to the fact that probably the first month or so that she was in the hospital, there was no contact in between us. I wasn't able to call. I wasn't able to check on her. I wasn't able to go see her. Um, until actually one day Tanya woke up and was like, I can't believe all of this is happening. I need to talk to Curtis.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you were the one that really
Mm-hmm.
let your family know that that was a
Yes.
big part. He was a big part of you getting
Yes.
better and recovering.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Because
Okay.
he was that push, that strength that I needed to get along and do what I needed to do in therapy.
What was that like, the therapy, the recovery process?
Whew, that was a lot. Some days I didn't want to do it. If I tell you we need you to get in the chair, I was like, no, I don't want to do it because Curtis wasn't there. Because I knew he would be that pushy by telling you, come on, we got to do this. We got to get up like he does now.
Yeah, he seems like that.
Yes,
So you two are very much a team.
We
yes,
try
Okay.
to be.
You
We try to
try
be.
to be.
Well, especially now because the team has grown. Um, 2011 accident, 2012 we got married,
You got
and
married.
she walked down the
Yes.
aisle
yes,
with no
Yes.
assistance except for her brother.
Wow. And
yes.
With
Tanya, that was important to you,
Oh,
wasn't
yes.
it?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Wow.
He tried to say that they would push me down the aisle in a wheelchair. I said, no, that's not happening.
Okay, so tell me about that. When we talk to survivors, you didn't want that.
Yeah,
Nobody would have blamed you. They would understood, she just
right.
overcoming a hit and run. So where does that will come from to know I want to walk down the aisle? I'm going to live my life. Where does that
Yeah.
come from?
Most of it came from Curtis.
Okay. So
That
he was a huge
yes, he
motivator
was.
for you in the
Most
sense.
of it
Yes.
came from God.
Well,
Amen. Okay. Okay.
yes.
I
I
appreciate it,
I
but
will give
it
the
was a
grace
lot.
to God.
It was a
Cause
Okay.
lot of prayer
Okay.
and a lot of
Okay.
work.
oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So faith is very much a part
Oh
of this.
yes.
Okay.
I will
Yes.
say Tanya
Oh yeah.
she was strong. She's very strong willed when it comes to doing something that she wants and something that, so with them saying,
Yeah.
initially you'll never walk again, then you'll never walk without assistance, then you'll never walk da 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 da. I mean, I don't know what part of your camera put up with, but we walked in here today. It took a lot of people to help. It took a lot of people. If I wasn't able to get her to her appointments, to help her through her therapy, her mom has been a tremendous help
Yes.
with the
Wow.
kids. Her
Okay.
grandmother as well. Her
Mhm.
aunt comes and picks her up and takes her to. Even till this moment, she still has different PT, physical therapy, a lot of different appointments and stuff,
Mhm.
but she's did nothing but come out on
On top.
on top.
On top.
On
That's
top.
right.
Yeah.
My goodness. So you still are not the person you were before the hit and run, physically
No,
speaking.
physically speaking, no,
Oh my
I'm not.
goodness. Okay, so what do you still deal with on just daily task?
Um, I'm still taking physical therapy. I still have pain and aches every now and then.
So it's in the area that was directly impacted
Yes,
that
ma'am.
night. Okay. Okay. So as Curtis was telling us, medically speaking,
Mhm.
first they didn't know if you were going to live, and if
Yes.
you did live, didn't know what your quality of life was going to
Mm.
look like. You both talked about faith. How do you think that makes a difference from someone who may not have that foundation getting through something like this, as opposed to someone who leans into that in this kind of process?
Me, I'll tell it to you just like this. I don't know how anyone cannot have faith,
Mm.
cannot have a belief. We we profess Christianity. We are Christians. That's our life.
Mhm.
I always say it like this: I can talk to anyone about anything, and I hope they will eventually get saved with what we do. But
Yeah.
if there's a higher power in your life, you have to have something that looks for, because there's no way that you can go through this life with the kind of stress and kind of strain that something this traumatic can put on you and not believe in something greater.
Wow.
With Tanya, it literally, with the extent of her accident, with the extent of her injuries. I mean, there was a fractured femur, there was a shattered pelvis, front and back. There was a lung that had deflated lung. There was an eye socket that had been crushed. There were a lot of traumatic injuries that at any point in time could have taken her life.
Wow.
And for her to still be able to, 14 years later,
Yes.
even though there are still remnants, even though there are still feelings, even though there are still aches and pains, there's still a belief in it, and God brought us through it. So we know that everything's going to fine. When we saw
Yes.
her that night, I mean, mind you, you're seeing a headshot. If you were able to look down, you would see multiple bruises.
Mm.
The bone was literally out of her leg.
Oh.
And they told her she would never have kids. And when I tell you, we prayed a lot.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes. We saw the babies running on the off the school bus
right.
Yes.
coming to greet you. So that did not come to pass what you were told. You are a
Exactly.
mom, you are a
Yes.
dad, you have a family.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, so tell us, some people would have heard that and said, okay, well, I can't have kids. But no, that's not what you did. So what did you do after that when you were told?
So I said, Lord, I believe and I have faith that I will be a mom. And not just a mom of one, I'm a mom of three. And a
Wow.
bonus mom of two. So, yes.
That is awesome. What do you say? How do you use your story to encourage other people who maybe were told things that they believe they took to heart and they lost faith? They gave up.
Gain that faith back, because even though it may seem that God may have just slid away for a little while, He'll come back. You just have to keep believing and trusting and putting your hope in Him.
Wow. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. And Tanya, you have been very key in trying to encourage people. You came out with a book,
Yes, ma'am.
From Pain to Purpose.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Tell us about that and what went into writing it and the goal of you putting that out there.
It took me a minute to start writing it because I was afraid of what people might say
Mm.
of telling my life story. Because there are plenty of people that judge and plenty of people that say, oh, she went through this, she went through that. How is she able to sit and write her story and tell her story?
Mhm.
So I wanted people to understand that no matter what you go through, People are going to talk. People are going to judge. But you need to do what you have to do. If God told you to do it, then hey, He's going to see you through it.
Right.
And the reason I wrote it is because it's a testimony. People have always said, Tan, you have a testimony. You've been through a lot and you broke through it. So tell your story.
Wow.
And that's what pushed me through it.
What was the feedback you received after people started reading your story? And then, and I want to be transparent. You guys included even some of the things you shared today, as far as what
Yes.
was going on behind the scenes and maybe the family dynamics and all of that. Okay.
The feedback I received through it was phenomenal. It was something that I didn't expect. Um, from singles saying, "Oh my God, you've encouraged me to start dating again." Um, people that were married and were on the verge of divorcing said, "I'm not going to divorce. We're going to put our foot forward and we're going to stick through it.
Wow.
And we're going to do some of the exercises in the back of the book to date nights through all of this." And so, yes, it's been great.
Okay, wonderful. And when was
Yes.
it published? When was it put out there? So how long has it been?
It's been what, a year now?
It has been a year.
It was
Oh my
It'll be a year in
goodness.
June.
June. Yeah, it'll be a year in
It
June.
will be a year
Oh,
in June.
Yeah,
congratulations.
Yes.
yeah, because
Wow.
we were putting it. We were trying to get it
Wow.
right around. uh, Everything to us is a celebration. Okay,
Yes.
dates, birthdays, everything's a celebration. And on June the 16th, we were trying to get it around that date because number one, that's Tanya's birthday. Number two, that's our anniversary. We actually got married on her birthday. Number
Okay.
three is, if you notice, that weekend is Father's Day weekend, which is
Mm-hmm.
so everything for us is a
Yeah.
celebration.
I
And
see.
so we
Okay.
did try to get it around there. We were just a little bit behind on it, but in June it will be a year that her book has been published. It has been out there. She has received so many accolades on it. We have friends, Dr. Devon Williams over in Winston, who has been a
Yes.
major force behind
And
her.
we thank you.
There has
Wow.
been yourself as well.
Oh, I appreciate that.
There have been people who have taken an interest and said, "Hey, number one, let us hear your story. Number two, wow, you made it through this. Number three, where are we going from here?" So
Where's the second
Mm.
book
just
at?
so
Yeah,
just a
what does that mean? Where are we going from here? I love
just a
that.
hint, and we're not putting anything out there, but we've got some stuff in the works this time, and
Yes.
we have taken it a little step further. Anyone who hasn't had the book is available on Amazon, From Pain to Purpose. You can look it up by Tanya Lewis. After Tanya's story, she really did get into some things about how to help couples out. There are some
Wow.
things that we have established. DCCC, which was our dedication, communication, cooperation, and consideration, something we came up with at the beginning of our marriage. There are quite a few other things. We're not going to tell you all of it. Read the book. But we will
Sure.
tell you this. We're really contemplating the idea of breaking down our story for real.
What do you
So
mean by that? Breaking down your story for
to
real.
let everybody know that, and this is us. This isn't sporadic. This is intentional. This isn't something that just happened. We work at our relationship. We work at our family. We work at our love every day. Our love
Wow.
is intentional.
Mhm.
I'll tell anybody who ever has listened, Tanya and I did not fall in love because when we met, I had already had previous marriage and relationship. I wasn't getting married again. We dated for what, 3 years
3
before
years.
I even considered getting married again.
Was it because the marriage didn't work out and maybe you had a different perspective of
Oh,
love and
all of the above.
okay.
All
Okay,
of
and
the
people
above.
can relate to that. People
All of
can
the
relate to
above.
that.
You know,
Okay.
whether I say it
Okay.
was me, whether I say I'm not saying it was me, I'm not saying it was them. It was just something that was my experience. I didn't want to
Mhm.
experience it again because everything that I have seen in a majority of families always ended. And I didn't want that again. So that wasn't for me. And this one, Mrs. Lewis now, from day one was like, you can think what you want to think. I know we're gonna be married. And
That's
I'm like,
right.
yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay. So
That's
you
right. Oh,
knew.
yeah.
Yeah,
How did
I
you
whatever.
know that?
Number one, I prayed. I said, "Lord, just I believe in signs. I don't care what anybody says. If you ask God for a sign and pray for the confirmation, He will send it to you." So I said, "Lord, give me a sign on who would be my last and my next relationship. And read the book, y'all. I walked in the bank, and the next was it.
Now,
Wow.
she says that was a sign. It took me a few more
It
signs.
it took
Okay.
him a lot of signs.
It took me a
I'm gonna
lot of
tell you.
signs.
Okay,
But
so it took a minute.
right.
Yes.
Now when you say you walked to the bank, did you work at the
I
bank?
was at that
Mm-hmm.
particular time, I was working
Okay.
at a bank.
Okay.
I've
Okay.
had a
Yes.
plethora of jobs, a lot of customer service, but at this particular time, I had
Mm-hmm.
decided to try my hand in banking. And I
Okay.
worked at a bank, and she walked in to open an account. And the more I got to know her, the more that I was like, okay, I think I kind of like her.
Wow.
And then it got to, okay, I love her. And then
Mm-hmm.
let's be 1000. 2011 traumatic accident um, made me realize, oh, I do love her, and I don't want to lose her. So now, Lord, I need you to bring us through this, and He did.
That is such a good point, and I'm glad you're here as a couple.
Mhm.
Having gone through that, I mean, that's traumatic. That was a
Yeah.
real test of the relationship, whether or
Mhm.
not it
Oh
would
yeah.
survive. And you
Right.
had other pressures
Yes, a
at that
lot of other
Mm-hmm.
time.
pressures. Mhm.
Okay, so how did it strengthen your marriage, or you walked down the aisle just even more confident that if we can make it through that,
Well,
then
that's
Oh
the
yeah.
thing. By the time when Tanya and I use the word reunited, even though we were never apart, mentally, physically, we were not able to see each other. But by the time it was established, and it was like an eye opener, it was an eye opener to my family, who was like, oh man, this happened. This girl is gonna blame you. You'll never see her again. To her family, who was like, how can you be around him? He let this happen to
Yeah.
you. You'll never see him again. And once they realized that, oh, wait a minute, they want to see each other. They actually want to be together. They actually want
Oh
to.
mhm,
yes.
Once they realized that, everyone involved it just really became a big family, and I just can't thank them enough because from
Yes.
2011 in March to June 2012 when we got married, everyone was a part of it. Her mother,
Yes.
her godmother, her grandmother, her godparents, my mom, rest in heaven right now, my godmother, everyone was there for us. They helped us with the spot, the marriage, my uncle married us. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying?
wow, okay,
So there was
okay, okay,
our family became a big united family. And
okay.
then, and as our family grew, 2012 uniting all our families, now we've got little ones that came in 13, 15, and 17.
Mm,
Yes.
So there's three little ones now that have definitely incorporated the love of the family.
wow.
So it's amazing to know that I am so proud of everything that Tanya has accomplished.
Mm,
She gives a lot of credit to me. I give all the credit to God and to her because
Yeah.
I will be 1000 with you. I don't know if I could have done it.
what do you
I don't
mean you
know.
don't know if you could have done that?
The physical trauma that happened to her. I let me put it like this. I broke a leg once when I was little, and all I wanted to do was just stay in the bed the whole time till it healed. And I was small. I was younger, I would say. So to know that she had that encouragement, and even to now, once again, 14 days later, excuse me, 14 years later, still have the strength to continue with some things that happened back then. A lot of people was like, man, bump that.
Mhm.
They would really just be down about it. They was like, this happened to me mentally. They never caught the person.
That's right.
It's an
Yes.
unsolved crime in Thomasville, North Carolina. They never caught who it was. They never knew who did it. So there's a lot of things mentally as well that will weigh on you. I
Mhm.
mean, and Tanya's coming through like a champ. I mean, once again, to go from having this happen to never to the lifestyle of never walking again. Okay, a couple of months later, oh well, wow, you're actually walking, but you'll always need a walker or a wheelchair. And a couple of months later, oh wow, Tanya, you're doing great. I mean, even went so far as just back this March, she had to have another surgery on her
Oh.
right leg, the leg that wasn't supposedly traumatized by the accident because there's something that happened when she had the accident. Once we started reading notes and looking at, she
Mm.
had a hairline crack in the femur on her right leg, but they didn't really pay attention to it because of the trauma so bad to the left leg.
Hmm.
Now she has to go have that fixed as well. So,
Wow.
for a while she's walking around with a brace on both legs, walking on crutches, having to use a walker till March, April, May. 2 months later, now she's crutch free, brace free,
Yeah.
Wow.
and healing
That is
and
awesome.
healing.
Does it bother you that no one has been held accountable in terms of the worldly justice system?
Sometimes it does, but just I gave it over to God.
Where can people find your book? Where can they follow you on social media? Because I know you have a presence on social media
Yes.
now. Okay.
You can find my book on Amazon. Type in Tanya Lewis From Pain to Purpose, and on my social medias, it is I Am Becoming 2025.
I am becoming 2025. Now, what does that mean? I can't let that go without asking you. That sounds pretty
Um,
powerful. I am becoming 2025.
I am becoming means I am becoming a role model, and I am becoming I can't think of the word, a pillar
Mm.
in my community and in my household and in my church. So I'm becoming a greater woman and becoming a greater mother and becoming a greater wife and becoming what God has for me.
Wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, Tanya Curtis, thank you so much for your time. We really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank
you. Thank you for just talking to people to share encouragement because people do need to be encouraged.
They do.
And
They need to know that they too can survive,
that's
Yes.
right.
and they have to realize that I hope we are a good example for you. But
Yes.
whatever it is, find that positiveness. Don't dwell on
Mhm.
it. It's hard. It's
That's
hard.
right.
We have days it's hard. We have days where she wakes up and there's tears and
Mm.
there's, wondering why. But, in the same token, there's a lot of prayer going on. There's a lot of groups. Shout out to
The
our
sister
pastor,
circle.
Leah McNair, and Pastor
Pastor Matt.
Mac P. Michael McNair, her group, the sister circle that she's incorporated in. There has been a lot of people that have had our back and her back
Yes.
through a lot. And we appreciate everything. We appreciate being able to tell y'all that look where we started, look where we are. And we survived. We are surviving.
Yes, we
It's
are.
everything.
You are surviving. That is awesome. That is
Yes.
awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed the story, if you have enjoyed the journey, I should say, for Curtis and Tanya Lewis, just remember that you can have more of these survival stories by watching They Survived on My Fox 8 Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next
Thank you.
time,
Thank
have a
you.
great day. Thank you both.